Mally Mouse, a TikToker with nearly 1 million followers, recently went viral for absolutely snapping on the woke mob.
Okay. First of all, you just assumed my gender. Second of all, I don't give a I know that probably bothers you, but the difference between us is that I don't base my emotional stability on the validation of strangers. I know, rough concept, huh? And by the way, there's nothing wrong with me accurately defining a group of people as rainbow bullies when they are literally notorious for throwing temper tantrums and lashing out at people who think even minutely different from them.
And to add context to this, she was responding to the Delta Airlines employee being berated by an actor from some Netflix show.
What about when a Delta employee misgenders you intentionally?
While he's talking, you're talking.
You just misgendered me again.
Wasn't intentional, but if you want to take it personal, that's also.
Well, she did do it intentionally twice.
You're talking to me too.
You said she and then you said he.
You're being condescending, and if you want to continue, I have full authority to escort you out the building right this moment if you want to play that game with me.
Okay.
Would you like to continue 3 days before Christmas? I really don't mind.
I'm good, I'll just put this on.
So she got backlash for backing an airline.
I don't travel by plane, but if I did, I'd probably start using Delta. They just did something no other company has been brave enough to do, let alone on camera.
Because let's be clear, when that Netflix star isn't angry at hourly employees, they're busy being outraged at AI TikTok filters for doing the same. So this rapidly escalating nonsense of being recreationally offended online is getting so out of hand that even accounts like Mally Mouse, whose online imprint is almost entirely based on being a Disneyland superfan, is now forced to draw a line in the sand and finally stand up for herself against the woke mob. For doing the crime of what exactly? Not allowing random accounts online to police her speech? Because like a great man once said, when people get used to preferential treatment, equal treatment seems like discrimination. And for some random mouse account to say stop bullying me for simply agreeing with something, and they respond by trying to bully her into submission, these angry internet dwellers aren't exactly accomplishing what they think they are. Because if anything, they're just ensuring that not only she, but her hundreds of thousands of followers will be pushed even farther away from ever supporting their side. Because looking at her TikTok, she just seems to be one of those Disneyland annual pass holders that also loves all things magical, but also isn't afraid to speak her mind about the absurdity of the Democrats.
I don't know who the told Gavin Newsom that he had the right to start arbitrarily assigning new taxes and wages throughout the entire state, but this is too far. Not only are fast food workers about to start getting $20 an hour, which can only have negative repercussions like inflating prices, laying off jobs, and closing establishments because they can't afford to run like that. Or how about the fact that he just decided that we're gonna be the first state to offer health insurance to illegal immigrants, even though it's costing us $3.1 billion a year as taxpayers.
And also introduces her audience of Disney lovers to the Daily Wire's TV shows.
Okay, hold the phone. Who else is as excited as me for Mr. Bircham, the new Daily Wire cartoon that has all kinds of awesome people voicing in it? If you have not gone and watched the trailer, go to YouTube right now and go watch it because it looks so good.
So I imagine some people will hear what she has to say and either agree or disagree, but just enjoy the theme park content. But some people have such little conviction in their beliefs, if they even hear a suggestion from someone saying something beyond their echo chamber, they freak out, sprint into the comment section shouting, "How dare you make me question my programming, I'm unfollowing you," because an insanely angry and emotional response to a video says much more about the viewer than it does the creator. But more importantly, whenever Mally Mouse speaks openly about her unpopular beliefs, she actually makes it easier for the people in her audience to speak up about agreeing. And the more the left tries to force them into submission through fear, the more outspoken she's likely to be. As Mally Mouse seems to be the more organic version of Brett Cooper, where Cooper gains millions of viewers on videos about dating, talking about her experience in Hollywood and movies she sees, being able to cover celebrity gossip relating to an audience that the Daily Wire could never before, but also introduces that audience to narratives contrary to the mainstream corporate media.
And he has been trending for days now, and people on both sides of the aisle are talking about him, but there is a lot of confusion about what is actually going on because this is somebody that people fear and they hate. and they will do anything to take him down. Now, sadly, like I said earlier, our society seems to have forgotten about the principle of, innocent until proven guilty, and Russell is already facing the consequences from this documentary and from these anonymous allegations.
And important stories that her audience of Gen Z, TMZ viewers would otherwise be completely oblivious to.
We're going to be talking about Maui. I think you guys know they have the largest system in the entire world used for anything. They just decided not to set it off and they don't regret it. Meanwhile, the governor is saying, oh, I thought that it wasn't working. And the mayor is protecting the emergency chief from answering the question. Do you see why people are not thinking that this lines up?
Let us right now do what we need to do, and let the after action do what it needs to do.
I don't think people are inclined to let you do what you need to do when you didn't do what you needed to do when the fire was taking place. People aren't interested in hearing you work through the details over the course of the next 3 years and not revealing any of it, because that's how the government works.
And I think Tim Pool said it best in, this is how the culture war can actually be won. Most people in the middle are simply too quiet and submissive to speak out and risk getting exiled by society. But there's definitely this counterculture developing against what the billion-dollar corporations want you to think are the righteous things to believe. Saying I'm sick of having to step around eggshells for these easily offended mobs and applauding a company for openly doing it like Delta is probably how a lot of people actually feel, and I think even the woke mob knows this to be true, and that's why they're so desperate to silence anyone that dare go against them. As just how Mally Mouse introduces logic and reasoning to her audience of Disney lovers like herself, Brett Cooper introduces what's behind the veil of corporate reporting to her audience of pop culture consumers like herself. And now Decoy Voice introduces the reality of crime and culture to an audience of regular people like myself. And the amount of people trying to silence me now is astounding. Because as this channel nears 500,000 subscribers, I see more comments attacking my eyes, claiming I'm a Chinese grifter, and inferring that there's a racial reasoning behind my channel. But let's look at my most recent videos from today. If we drill down the main subjects of the stories by color, it's pretty diverse. And even arranging it by the most popular videos that we've had on this channel, yeah, we had some updates on one particular nuisance streamer, but again, pretty equally diverse. So for these idiots to scream into the comment section suggesting that even though the stories that I recently covered are what people have most watched, even if those videos criticize characters diverse as a cast of Disney's new live-action Little Mermaid, they think the fact that they only click the videos with thumbnails of a people of a specific race is some sort of gotcha moment against me is actually kind of hilarious, as they're really only snitching on themselves, but they're too stupid to notice. And I know there's people critical of seeing mean comments against a certain people, but there's also mean comments against me. So just because bad people say bad things doesn't mean I need to change the way I live my life. Also, I might not offend the emotionally fragile idiots. Because what most people don't realize is, whenever they're trying to bully you down a certain path where you can't say particular things because that's harmful and not appropriate, it's not actually about protecting certain persons, it's about suppressing critical thinking. Because it's a lot harder to convince someone that their failing policies aren't failing than it is to say, we're not failing, you're just racist for noticing. So if you appreciate my concise, light-hearted commentary on the tragic status that is today's reality, hopefully I've earned your subscription, then go check out the video on how Disney might actually be ditching wokeness.